Well, good morning everyone and welcome back to the Backyard Project. So this morning I realized last night I talked to Rick, we're not going to get the skid till noon, so we are going to improvise, which I think we've got enough work actually, the more that I look at it, that it's not that big of a deal. So to start off this morning, which by the way, I changed the autofocus settings on the camera. We'll see if it like latches onto my face quicker, because I know it's been taking a while and it's kind of distracting. But anyway, enough with that. Gutter drain right there, we're going to dig in and we're going to run it right down the side of the property here and daylight it out there. We have, I'm trying not to whip you guys too fast, we have another gutter that's coming down right there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to just daylight it out off the back of the property, and then off the corner of the house back over there, you should be able to see that gutter back there. We're going to do the same with, we're going to start with those and get those outletted out the back. Then we're going to, directly behind me over my shoulder there, we're going to dig in the hot tub pad, and I don't know, we'll see how ambitious we get. I don't know that I want to cat back and forth with a single bucket of 21A to get all that back here. So we may wait until the skid to actually put down the 21A. While we're waiting to do the 21A, that's when we'll probably start digging in our footers for our retaining walls. So we're going to have a retaining wall right over here. And then like I showed you guys last night, back kind of hugging that outside edge of the yard back over there, we'll have another retaining wall. So that is the plan for this morning. Overall for the day, the goal is to get all of the stuff I just discussed done. And then if we don't knock out the retaining walls, get them pretty stinking close to being done. Really, when it comes to laying retaining wall block like this, setting your base course, setting your foundation up and everything is way the time consuming part. I know that sentence didn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's the super time consuming part. Then building the actual wall doesn't take any time. You just layer the blocks up and it goes pretty quick. So hopefully we can get that pretty dang close to being knocked out. That way that leaves grading for tomorrow and then seed and straw. So that's the overall goal. So anyway, I'm gonna fire up the machine, get everything warm, and we'll catch you in the machine. All right guys, we are officially fired up for the morning. We're gonna roll back here and dig in our first gutter drain. And we are going to dig it to the outside of our wall because I don't want to undermine the retention wall that we're going to build. Retaining wall? What am I trying to say? Sweet Jesus. Anyways, so we're going to dig beside where our wall is going to run, which means I'm going to have to clear a little of this out, which is my backfill for when we build our wall. This is all of my backfill material here. So we'll get all this out of the way and then we'll start actually digging our trench. Not super worried about fall. We've got plenty of fall to work with. So you may have noticed I'm not using a laser at all on this job. Visually I can just see that we're draining, and that's all we're going for, is just good drainage. We do have a 6-foot level that we're going to use so that we make our retaining walls nice and level. But I'm really not concerned at all about the overall yard and then my drains here. We've just got so much fall to work with, I'm not really worried about it. Okay. Yes, sir.
Figure out how to go from that 1.5 inch coming out of the wall there to our corrugated stuff.
Okay. You got your Y?
Yeah, I've got a Y, but it's not schedule 40.
That's okay. I would do your corrugated Y.
It's not a corrugated. They only had the schedule 30Y, I think.
For that stuff? Like it's drain tile? So you might not have a super clean way of doing it.
Yeah.
So what we might have to do is basically take a pipe off of that with a cap and then drill a hole in the cap that will accept your 1.25 inch or whatever, and then caulk around it.
Right.
That might be how we have to do it.
Maybe.
What's that?
A boot.
Yeah,
A rubber boot.
that could be, yeah. Are you running a Home Depot then?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what he's referring to, we've got to take the sump line coming out of the house, we're going to tie it in with this gutter drain here so that it will just outlet off the back of the property. And the sump is schedule 40 pipe like you'd normally have in your house, but we're using corrugated drain tile, and there's not always a nice neat way of converting between the two. So he's gonna go figure that out right now. That's what he's off to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep digging in these drains, and I will hit you guys in a little bit when we start doing some more grading. So we'll catch you guys here in a bit. All right, everybody, so we have made more progress. Let me spin here. So we have our gutter drain there. We have our other gutter drain over here. And the reason that took so long, it's almost noon, it's 11:30. The reason it took so long is right where Ben's standing back there in the corner, there is a downspout on the front corner of the house that comes around that we had to tee in, and then we took his sump lead and also teed that in. And so there was a lot of moving parts there that had to come together. So that's all done, it's in. Now we're gonna start digging our hot tub pad, which you can see marked out with the paint here. So that is the next course of action. We're going about 4 inches deep for the hot tub pad. There's not really a need to go any deeper than that. And all I'm going to try to do is square up on the porch here so that I make a nice straight pull. Yeah, just cut it out. We'll use a couple of couplers and piece it together. So we hit the edge drain, or the drain tile. I know I keep calling it edge drain, guys, because I'm a road guy, and that's what we called it in the road world. But it's drain tile that goes around the outside perimeter of his house. We hit that yesterday, and we're going to have to repair that. Hydraulics on this machine are so freaking jerky. I really do not like this machine. So yesterday when I was doing a lot of tracking, when I was going underneath the deck there, you know, a lot of times in excavators you get into that you kind of create, what am I trying to say here? With your pedals, because you kind of create the jerkiness with your feet, it then gets you in a situation to where your whole body's jerking, which emphasizes the jerkiness that you created in your feet. So that's fairly typical in a small excavator when you're tracking around. So I thought that's what it was. But it actually has to do with, I guess, the valving on this machine or something, because even with your hydraulic controls with the boom and the stick, you get out there when you're trying to go slow and it starts getting jerky out there, and it's driving me nuts. It's really hard to be smooth in this machine. And I'm trying to dig this pretty accurate because we don't have a lot of extra stone on this one, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to dig it pretty dang close to what the dimensions are that is called for. Oh, knock that mud off there. Yeah, you can see right there, a perfect example. It's like jerky for no reason. It's not like I'm doing a bunch of hydraulic movements that are causing the hydraulics to be short on oil or anything. It's just, ugh, I hate this machine. Woo! Nice and slow, nice and slow. Woo! Alright, that was exciting. Like I've talked about before in these vlogs, right here I'm not just looking at my bucket, I'm also looking at the top of my stick. As you can see, that stick's way out there, and I don't want to hit the porch with it. Oops, there's something to be aware of. When you tuck in close with your stick, the top of the stick juts out pretty dang far, and you gotta always pay attention to where that's at. Alright, I'm gonna slick this off and I'm gonna go check it for somewhat level, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with my time here. And then I will fire up the camera maybe in a little bit when we get that skid steer here and start moving some 21A around and really start making this look like something. So yeah, I'll catch you guys here in just a little bit. Alright guys, figured I'd give you a quick update. There's not gonna be a whole lot of recording going on today because I am doing manual labor outside of the cab, which means I'm not really in a position to do a whole lot of recording. But we have got, well, I'll show you. We got the hot tub in place. That's done. And now we are starting our small retaining wall over here on the right side of the house. And that's what we're working on right now. And so where we're at in this is we've got our first course set, but we're having to step down. And we've got to be 8 inches below the level that that block is sitting on right there. So I'm actually going to take the mini and just dig that down and save us a whole lot of back-breaking terribleness. So first I'm going to move this plate compactor out of the way, and then we will get to digging. Alright, Melissa. Hey Melissa, this is where I'm going to need you to measure. About 10 inches from the bottom of from the top of the stone. What's that? From the top of the stone. Yep, down to the bottom needs to be 8 inches. Or I'm sorry, 10 inches. Okay, let me take a little more though, because I got to get the teeth marks out. Do you want to check your level and make sure I'm relatively level? There's 6-footers right behind you. Maybe in a minute. Pretty good? All the way out to the end here? Okay. Well, that works. So sorry this was a short little segment, guys, but it is what it is. So we're gonna keep laying block. Yeah, we're gonna keep laying block, and I will catch you guys here in a little bit with an update. Probably end of day, in all honesty, because it's so late in the day and this is all we're doing.
That looks kind of high now.
This back here in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. So those are, so we're gonna be 2 inches above that. Okay, we're gonna end right about where this stake is out here. Anyways, what I was saying is we're gonna keep laying block, and because of where we're at in the day, I will most likely catch you guys with an end of day update, because there's really not a lot of machine time going on. I am literally stacking block, but we've got time lapse running, so I'll get some time lapse footage for you. And yeah, we'll catch you guys for the end of day wrap up. See you in a bit. All right guys, it's the end of day 2 out here, and I'm sorry I didn't do more recording today, but I spent half of the day manual laboring to build a wall. And yeah, so it's been a fun day. Not really. It's been hot and humid and muggy, but it is what it is. We got it done. So here's what we've got so far. So here's our little retaining wall coming off the side of the house, and we've got it backfilled. We're gonna put top cap on tomorrow morning. We almost did it tonight, but then pizza got here because we ordered pizza. So we all went inside as friends and enjoyed our pizza together. So top cap tomorrow there. We got our hot tub in. That went a lot smoother than I thought it was. We used some tow straps and used the excavator to crane it into place, and that went super smooth. Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't look like much, but that's the day right there, because that wall took a while. A lot of cutting and leveling, and you guys know how retaining walls are. Your base course, if you've never done retaining walls, your base course takes forever, but it's the most important course, because if your base course isn't totally flat, totally level, straight, the rest of the courses look like, I'm not gonna say what, but anyway, that's where we're at. So tomorrow we will finish, tomorrow morning we will finish top cap there first thing in the morning, and then we're gonna flip around to this area right back here. Sorry, I accidentally touched my screen. No, the focus is goofing. There we go. So basically, we will come hit this right here, and you can see we're gonna start the retaining wall probably right in this area here, and it's gonna come straight and then start to wrap, and it will blend to existing right about where I stopped cutting there, is the goal. And it's gonna be about 4.5 feet at its peak is what we're shooting for. So it'll look nice, and it will totally transform this yard. So I'm hoping we can get that wall totally knocked out tomorrow, and then we can level the backyard and get most of the machine work done. And from there, it'll just be touch-up stuff and then seed and straw. So that's it. That's all I got. So you guys have a lovely evening, and we'll catch you in the morning.